employers, if you have an application that's like that downloads my resume PDF and then puts the information in, and then you want me to
no, I'm not doing that. Like I'm just not doing that. Like
you just lost one.
You
and then people could be like, oh, that sounds so like bougie, like you got your nose up, like you, and I'm like, no,
you know how time consuming that is.
What the hell you talking about? Since I'm the only thing to talk about, been here from the start. Nah, I don't want your awards, keep your applause.
Shout Discourse Debftfreedeem, you know what it is.
It's your girl Yaz, guys.
All right,
we did that in sync. That was.
Oh yeah,
we getting better with it.
We on point. Good. We on point. I hope all the coloring is good. The framing is good.
The audio is good. I heard that some people was talking about us or whatever.
No, it is
critiquing. It's fine.
You know it is.
Haters,
I appreciate.
Hate, so
I appreciate all the critiques, all the comments, and everything like that because it makes us get better.
Okay. Period.
Okay, but you know what's not better?
What?
Job applications. Man.
I feel like that's top 5 worst things to ever have to do.
Look for a job?
No, fill out the job application.
Yeah. That's what we want to talk about today. I know, we always go into like relationship mode. We talk about wealth management, maybe some little real estate, but we never even talk about how to get a job in the first place.
Right. Yeah, we don't. And it's hard. That's why.
Explain.
So people tend to think I'm only going to talk for me from a nursing perspective. As soon as you tell people that you're a nurse, they're like, oh, y'all could go anywhere and y'all could get jobs all the time. And I'm like, that's not true. Because it took me a long time to get into my positions. My first nursing job, I think because it was like right out of COVID, it was easier for me to get that job.
So you were part of the new wave of nurses that were flooding the market. They needed a lot of nurses at that time because of COVID. Yeah,
this was literally when COVID just happened.
Correct. So
I came out of nursing school literally right when COVID happened.
Running, let's go.
And they were like, okay, so at that point, that's when they was giving temporary nursing licenses to people that had graduated like within that same time frame that I graduated and didn't go take their NCLEX test or whatever.
Yeah.
So the first job that I got, that one was a short, like it was easier for me to get that one. But then I realized why it was easy to get that one.
Okay. Why?
Because when I got there, the floor was hellhole.
Okay.
So
chaos all over.
7 patients to my one self, like 7 heavy patients. But then like when I was still like applying for jobs while I had that job, trying to figure out where I wanted to do, and I kept getting no's, the automated, we went with somebody else with different qualifications and all of these other things. And then you hear people that work at these other hospitals, they're like, I don't know why, like we're so short and we need nurses. And it's like, I know that y'all need nurses, but you guys aren't hiring nurses. Like it didn't make any sense to me. So it's so hard, and I do not understand why it's so hard. Even now, even trying to find like a part-time or a per diem and stuff like that, it's still so hard to get a job. Like, and I'm only talking about for nursing, so I can only imagine how hard it is for everybody else that's out here
for me, it's
applying.
Like, I'm going to start with this. I know it's hard to get a job.
Right.
I've been in the market a couple times. Luckily, I found things fast.
Yeah.
But I also like skilled myself in a way where I'm going to get a job.
Yeah.
So every time I was in a position, I kind of learned what they needed, and I would get a certification in that need. Okay. And kind of plan out my next move based on that.
Yeah.
So wherever I was in a little predicament, it was like, oh, I got this thing, and like this skill set's gonna guarantee me a job in the market.
Yeah.
So where my thought is now is like, I don't think people are skilled enough for the jobs that are out there, right? So like you said, when it was the nursing flood, you had to pass the NCLEX, right?
Yep.
To get in, but they kind of was like, yo, we not really checking for that.
Right.
We just need bodies. And I'm not saying that's the reason why you got in, but they were allowing a lot of people to get jobs there. And it was a demand. There was a huge need for it. What I think is happening now is, you know, with technology and all these things happening, all these easy jobs that were out here are cut.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when it was like, you know, you could get cashier jobs, stocking jobs, and all these type of things. Well, now we got the speed checkout line, so we need less people in the building. We looking for people that could stay overnight, stock the shelves, and then whatever. So that's only a limited time people.
Yeah.
So I always thought, like, if that's your if you're a cashier, how are you not trying to train yourself up to be the manager or the assistant manager, or like, and I still don't even think that's safe. I think you got to have a skill set to be like, you know, I'm gonna save this money and get a completely different career where nobody could touch me.
Yeah.
So I think people are just applying for jobs that really don't exist.
I also think, I mean, that might be true too, but I also think that the way that these job application engines, thousands and thousands of people are applying. So they, from what I keep hearing, is like there's trigger words and keywords that you got to use on your resume so that it gets your resume boosted to the top. And
but I'll give you a hack. You're absolutely right. Keywords and stuff. Like if your company invests in the software, it'll throw some applicants at you as a job viewer. But I think the biggest thing is the network, still the connection to people. Because even when we're looking to fill roles, we're going through probably these same 3 staffing agencies that give us people, and we look at those first. And then if it's not the staffing agency, then we might look at the 500 applicants that came in. But, you know, we're looking at internal. Word of mouth, but we're looking at internal candidates. Yeah. We're looking at people who gave a recommendation to somebody. It's not often that we'll go and we'll pick somebody out of the 500 random.
Right. True. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they always say it's like, it's who you know. And I honestly believe that, especially working in a hospital. And when you want to get into like a specialty, I wholeheartedly believe that it's who you know. Like,
explain that.
Like, for me, where I'm at now, I mean, that was a luck of the draw too. Because I didn't know anybody in the position that the current position that I'm in now, but I was applying. I had applied at this hospital for years, and I was working for them in a different role before while I was in nursing school. But when I got the job this time, it was literally, I just applied for it, and I guess God was like, "Here, I'm gonna give this to you," type of thing. But being in it now, I realized that when it comes to hiring people, they'll ask us like, "Oh, do you know this person?" Or if I say, "Hey, I know one of my friends or somebody that I know applied for this position, y'all should reach out to her," they will reach out to HR themselves. So that's why I'm like, who you know. If you know somebody in that position or in, you know what I'm saying, in the hospital or anything like that, you have a better chance of getting into that position or into that company because you know somebody.
So now, how would you, like, because we run into this problem now where we got people who need jobs but they just don't have those connections, right? How do they get in contact with you and know that you're nursing a certain thing? And
I mean, for me, I'm a approachable person, like, especially if you see me in like outside somewhere and we're talking or whatever, like, I'm a person that's gonna have a conversation. You see me on social media, and if I try not to say that what I do and where I work, because people are also very weird and I have to protect my license type of thing.
Please don't.
But I will let people know, like, I do work in labor and delivery, and I say that proudly because there's not a lot of us in there. So I'm always going to talk to somebody that looks like me that wants to get into labor and delivery. I'm not saying that I wouldn't talk to somebody that doesn't look like me, because I will too, but I'm always going to try my best to help people that look like me get into these positions. Even when it comes to like questions with nursing school. Like, I've had people that asked me that went to Rutgers, like, oh, I know you went to the nursing school. Like, how was it? What do you need to do? And I'm telling them, like, I wish somebody would have told me this. So I'm going to give you the game, and so that it makes it a little bit easier for you and you don't have to struggle like I did. So I think that people need to be more approachable and not try to gatekeep things. Like, I realize, like, everybody, you can't just go to somebody and ask them, like, hey, I'm trying to get into your company, like, how, or trying to get to, I want to do what you do. Like, I really want to try to get into it. Like, can you give me any pointers or tips and tricks, like, to what I need to do? And I think people feel like if I had to struggle to do it, you got to struggle to do it. And it's like, that's not really a good mindset to have.
My big thing is, like, I think people don't leverage their friend groups or their community to find these certain positions. And, like,
True.
One example that I could remember is, like, when we put together that event, at Rutgers to just talk to the students again. It's like, how many of them got out of their bed to go to that event and talk to people?
Right.
And I think, like, sometimes as an applicant, you're lazy.
Yeah.
Like, people,
for sure.
People think, like, yo, I'm just going to go on this website.
Yeah.
Put in my paper.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get chosen.
Yeah.
That's not how this works, bro.
Yeah.
People want to understand that you're a sensible person. There's somebody that on the other end of something that can hold you or can give you a good reference and say,
right,
that person's going to be a good fit for this. Like, people want to have that comfortability bring you in for an interview.
Right.
So why do you feel like you can just be in the house and not make any connections?
Yeah, I agree. You gotta be able to put in the work. And it doesn't just start with, like, the application. I mean, it starts with the application, but that's not all it is. Like, now you have to kind of put yourself out there and be a nuisance, if you will. Like, sometimes you gotta follow it. The only issue is, like, when you're going for these big companies, i.e., I'm specifically talking about nursing because that's where I am. When you're going to these entities, you don't have a person that you, like, an HR person that you can just call and reach out to, because you're going to call the hospital. They're going to try to transfer you to HR. You're going to get a voicemail, and you're just going to keep on cycling because they have thousands, hundreds of thousands of applicants. You literally have to sit and wait. Now, smaller companies, maybe they do have a resource that you can call, like HR, you can call and reach out to say, hey, I just wanted to follow up. Or if they send you an email, not the automated email where it says, please do not reply here. But if you get a recruiter or somebody that says something to you, then you have to do that.
Let's pause. So one, you said a couple great things. The recruiter. Mm-hmm. How important is a recruiter in the game now?
I think it's very important.
I think it's 100% necessary.
Yeah,
like, you don't do anything now without a staffing agency and recruiter behind you.
You gotta figure it out.
So let's make sure we're tangible with this, right? I think that if you're really serious about looking for a job, go on Google, type in staffing agencies in your area, and then you see what's around. Yep. And this is for any skill set. Now you're gonna you can hone down and give them calls to see what, like, opportunities they have available, what connections they have, because there are some direct contracting firms that go to specific hospitals. Yep. There are definitely some contracted firms that staff up for different, technology companies. Yep. So, and I'll say this. This is one of the ways that I got my foot in the game, because I'm like, yo, how y'all getting all these people in here? Like, I know you're not looking at these 4 job postings that have 500. Yep. No, like, they have these agencies that they have good relationships with, and they say, this is what we need. They send them a few resumes. When I say a few, 7 to 10. 7 to 10. Yep. And there's really no applications, right? These are kind of relationships. They'll go out, and this is how crazy it is. They will go to an outsourcing company in India who will then find their partnership in America. And then those Indian people will call and scam spam your phone until you pick up, and then they'll make the connection to the staffing agency. So it's just a whole rigmarole of what's going on. So I'm saying that they're, like, going through the staffing agency is one thing. Find one in your area and try to get connected with them. Yeah. Now the next thing is, like, having the energy to I think. Are you part of, like, any associations or anything like that? No, I'm not. I'm not a part of any nurses associations, but I am in a sorority, and I realize that I don't use my sorority to my advantage. I don't network with them. But you are in one. Yeah. And if somebody were able to see you because they're affiliated,
right?
That's how other connections are made,
right?
So it's still, I don't want to disrespect any letters or whatever, but it's still an association of people, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the other important part too. Get with some like-minded people that are around, and when one person gets a job, it's like, oh, how can I leverage that? Or you know, you don't want to look like a leech either, but like be human. Like try to have these conversations about what somebody does in a day-to-day. If it piques your interest, try to figure out how you can, you know, get into that space.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot harder, guys, to get jobs. We completely understand that. But you just gotta thug it out. And I know it's annoying because even when I try to doing these applications, it's very annoying. You gotta upload. You asked me to put all this information in and then tell me to upload my resume, but then you want me to break down everything that's on my resume. So
I immediately immediately skip that. I'm not like I'm sorry, employers, if you have an application that's like that downloads my resume PDF and then puts the information in and then you want me to
no, I'm not doing that. Like I'm just not doing that. Like
you just lost one. You and then people could be like, oh, that sounds so like bougie, like you got your nose up, like you. And I'm like, no,
you know how time consuming that is. After you have an option for me to upload my resume,
I'm not doing it.
I upload my resume and then you then proceed to say, oh, well, manually enter all the information on my paper. That means that you guys are lazy because you're not going to sit there and take the time to read the resume. You want to sit there and look at the application itself because it has those words in it. But no, you asked me to upload my resume, so now you take a look at my resume. You skim through it.
Chill out, bro. I'm not doing it. And then
it's crazy. I'm not doing it either.
This is why I'm saying like I can act bougie or I could act a certain type of way is because I have the license. I have the certification. Mm-hmm. You have the license. You have the certification. We're not doing certain things because we've already done this crazy test or whatever to get here.
Exactly.
So, sorry.
Right.
Now, the one thing I want to talk about is the talent, too. Mm-hmm. It's a very competitive market. And unfortunately, you can't come out here without the bare minimum credentials.
Nope.
Am I tripping?
No, you can't. No,
right?
You literally gotta be like,
dog. There's calls I get because of the way everything's packaged. I get maybe a call, email. Mm-hmm. Let's say I get called 3 times a week to apply for a job, and then I get daily emails for jobs. Mm-hmm. Now I know the code about like where to put my resume for a job listing and all this other stuff. But then sometimes I look and I'm like, why isn't this person getting these looks or whatever? And so, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I don't like, I'm like, get this certification, bro, and you're going to be fine. They're going to look for you.
Yeah.
And the people don't want to do that. People don't want to put in the work.
Yeah. I'm like, if I talk about myself, I'm like, I know that there's other certifications that I could get too. But it's also expensive. Like trying to get certified in labor and delivery or like just OB or whatever, the test itself is like $325 to get to get the cert and stuff. So it's like,
you didn't tell me this.
Huh?
You didn't tell me this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be mad at you.
Why?
Without going into too much detail. You were telling me about another course of action that you wanted to take.
Yes.
And we're talking about a silly $325.
No, no. I'm only saying it because yes, it's when I look at it compared to that, it's absolutely silly. But what I mean is like for regular people, like trying to get all of these certifications, it gets costly. So it's expensive.
Why not get the certification?
I mean, I could get the certification, but it's really not going to do anything for me at work. Like all it is because I work with nurses that are certified in it. So it doesn't set me all. It just certifies that it just says that I'm certified in that specialty, but and it doesn't add anything.
Doesn't increase money.
Maybe $1.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like it's going to take me from this to like C. Mm-hmm. No, it's going to take me from an A to an A+, like type of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's like I realized that with the certifications in nursing, it's just like it doesn't really set us apart from anything because we are already a nurse, and now it just says that we are specialized and we are certified in the specialty that we're in, meaning we are more knowledgeable because we know whatever, but it doesn't really do much. But it's like, I got to spend all this money to get all of these, certifications, and I will hope that it will bring me to another position or help me go up in ranking. Doesn't really do that. The only thing that's really going to do that is to further your education. Like, if you want to be like a nurse manager and stuff like that, like, you don't have to have your master's, but it looks good when you have your master's because now you got your master's in like healthcare administration or something like that, or whatever the case may be. So it's like,
sometimes I feel like we overlook certs.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I just want to be careful about that. Right?
Yeah.
Even for me, like when I look at certain like programs versus like certifications, like for instance, you can now go to school, right, for a degree in cybersecurity, which I think is the most laughable thing ever. And
what does that even look like?
You can go and get a CISSP, and that's a cybersecurity, certified professional. And it's like that cert by itself, you're not making less than $125,000.
That's great. That is amazing.
You're not making less than $125,000.
That is amazing. I'm in the wrong field.
Why the hell would I tell a student
to go back to school?
To go to school,
and when you can just
bang this out.
Yeah.
And there's tiers to it, right? You could do like, you could be basic and get like a CompTIA Security Plus, and that'll get you into entry level jobs. Maybe that's like a little like, oh, that's nice, you studied and did something.
Yeah. But
maybe it'll get you into entry level pen tester, and then once you're a pen tester, you can look into ethical hacking and then get that certification. Yeah. And then once you get those two together, it's like, oh, now I'm ready for CISSP. Yeah. And now they see those three tiers. It's like, oh, this guy, you know what I'm saying? You're going to make the money. I just think some people will sit there and really get an entry-level job and not think about the level up.
That's true.
Not think about how am I going to grow?
No, because they like, I got the job now. Yeah. Because the hardest part is getting the job. Now I got the job, and now they are complacent and they're living their life with that job, and it's not like, oh, or sometimes people get jobs in companies where they can't move up.
Well, yeah, but you're getting experience. Like, to me, experience is gold.
True.
Like, just pretend you're in college again. Yeah. And just go for another thing. You're getting money now. Okay, there's no way to move up. There's no way to.
So now you got to pivot.
Yeah. Just go get a freaking take your time now. Take the time that you're there and level up your skill. I'm telling you, when I went to DC, I was in DC, and just because of the people my family knew, I got that opportunity. When I got that opportunity, I'm sitting in the office and I got a little extra time. Like, it's like I'm not really working too hard because I thought I was, but I was like, yo, I got mad time, and like they're hiring these older people who they want to work hard and amazing. I'm like, go be all you can be, man. So I'm hearing about the PMP. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go get that joint. Studied, did what I got to do, got the stuff. Our contract, no, actually, the contract failed, but because of the network and the connection that I built, they brought me on to another company with the same contract. Then with them, they were like, yo, you need to get this. My manager at the time, she was like, you need to get this PMP. And I was like, can I do a boot camp and study for it now? She was like, hell yeah, go do it. Went and did it, got certified, untouchable ever since then.
Great. Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't get when I got to DC, I didn't have the position I want, but I never was like complacent. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and chill. Yeah. When I know when I tell you, so many people were sitting and just chilling and getting their check. Right. I came in there hungry like a ravenous dog, yo. I was like, nah.
Yeah, that's how I look at nursing. I'm just like, I want to there's so many lanes to go with nursing, but it's like, it's harder when it comes to like certifications and stuff like that to like pivot. Like, if I wanted to go into administration when it comes to nursing, now I have to go back to school and get I don't know if they have just certifications in, you know what I'm saying? Now you got to get another degree. And I'm just like,
So then let's talk about that. Like, you don't know, right? The thing is, I think that the biggest thing you can do is look at postings.
Right.
Just really look at postings that are out there and just start studying.
Yeah.
See what certs they're asking for. See what they're actually asking to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't have those qualifications and you see like 3 postings with them, why not try to explore and get in that?
Yeah. And I also think that when it comes to like, I'm realizing when it comes to nursing, it's all, and when you're doing your resume and you're looking for these jobs, it's all on how you word the things, because a lot of the time we're doing all the things that these jobs are looking for. Like, nurses are also delegators. We are also, we multitask. We, you know what I'm saying? Like, we do tech things because we got to use computers and we got to be updated on the most recent software. So even if you're trying to pivot from bedside nursing,
definitely putting that software on your resume is huge.
Right. Like, we work in Epic. So, you know, I know how to use Epic. Yeah. Oh, I know how to use Microsoft Word or whatever the database is within your company. You put that stuff on there because that stuff is kind of key, especially if you're trying to pivot from, say, bedside nursing to like tech or research or whatever you're trying to do. Like, you kind of got to use what you already do and kind of tweak it so that it fits the position that you're trying to go for. Because 9 times out of 10, we have all of these skills. I'm realizing, like, I have all of these skills as a nurse. So many tangible skills because I'm literally doing every single, like, doing a little bit of everything while I'm at work. And I'm like, so it's a little bit, it's easier for me to just be like, okay, now I could probably just apply for something. When I go to apply for it, it's all about like how to word it, like how to fix my resume so it looks like it can be pinged to say, okay, she's the one that I want, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to it just being something that's shuffled in the deck.
Yeah.
You know, like you just, sometimes you gotta, outside of finding recruiters, you gotta find people that help you build your resume.
Yeah.
And even if you gotta pay for it, like that's what they're skilled to do. Find a legit person. Like, not none of these scammers, because everybody's scamming nowadays. Like, you find a legit person that can help you build your resume, and they teach you and they walk you through it, or whatever the case may be, to get whatever job you want. So recruiters, or go to your own workshops. They have resume building workshops all the time.
Especially in the city, or you know,
schools have it all the time. Colleges have it all the time because college students don't know how to write a resume. Like, so you can always find these resources, and I'm saying this to myself too. It should be second
nature. But then, you know what I don't like too? It's like, how does your resume tell a story about yourself?
Right.
And I don't want to be corny, but like a recruiter or a person that's looking at somebody that's trying to fill a role. The format is important, but how does this person, like, how are you speaking to me that I need to bring you on?
Right. Yeah.
And then when you just put words together and all that stuff, and you think this one resume is going to not change and then you're going to apply for 10 jobs, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You need to tell a story for each job, each company. You need to hit these words. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm starting to even realize, like, when you look at hospital mission statements, and sorry, I'm using yours for example. Hospital mission statements, and then you look at your resume. How does your resume align with the mission statement? If you're applying for a certain company and they use like different, company culture, like lingo, how does that go into your resume? Different things like that, so they know that you're a good fit. These are like cheat codes, and I'm like, nobody's using. It's crazy
because I sure ain't using it.
Bro,
I'm like, I didn't. Yeah. I know that I have to fix my resume.
What I'm saying is, just change the way that we're approaching certain things. And even like, okay, another crazy hack is like, you could be part of like a company that's really big in supporting the fight for multiple sclerosis or leukemia or a certain cancer or like the night walk or whatever. You don't think I'm over there thinking about who's in the booths and who's doing blah, blah, this HR VP's there? Oh, brother. I'm in there taking a picture like, you know, Cooper blah, blah's in the house. Like, and we taking pictures saying, yo, can I get your social or whatever? And then,
Yeah.
I'm out here, I'm broke.
I'm horrible at networking. I am horrible. And I realized that as I was sitting here applying for graduate school and you have to write letters of recommendation. The good thing about it for me is I left a tremendous mark on Rutgers Camden School of Nursing. So the teachers, they know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know me because I've done things. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can always reach out to my old professors and stuff like that because they are not too far removed from nursing school. But I'm like, what happens when you like 5-10 years removed from nursing school? Now you still need letters of recommendation. And it's like, guys, you have a whole sorority slew of people, of women that are distinguished women. And some of them are doctors, some of them are nurses, some of them are whatever, work in healthcare in other ways. And you're not even using it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to do better with networking. Like, and my stepfather knows his family, you know, he has a lot of connections too. And it's just, I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm very shy when it comes to that because I'm like, now I got to reach out to these people and like kind of be like, oh, hey, this is what I'm trying to do and go to lunch with you and have all these conversations and do all these things.
And it may not be that. It's just like, networking is just showing that you care about the people and what's going on. Like, yeah. I think it instead of having a frivolous lunch that you guys are just like stretching at straws to have a conversation, figuring out when their kid's birthday is, sending out a card.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just like, hey, thought about you. Here's just drop us off something at the desk. Like,
right.
Those are the type of things. Like, because I'm not into the fake stuff at work. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not doing that.
If I know that you run and I'm getting into running now, I'm going to ask you some questions about running.
Yeah.
And then, if we ever catch up and we hit the treadmills together, let's hit the treadmills. We do not have to talk. You run over there, I run over there.
And that's it.
And we just seeing what's going on.
Yep, that's it. And I'm like, I love like when it comes to my mom and my stepfather, like my mom has all like her doctors are female they're black women. So that's a network for me too. So they always are like, oh, and my mom always talks like, oh, my daughter went to nursing school, this, that, and other. And they're always like, listen, if she needs anything, let me know. And I feel more comfortable going to them because they know my mom. And I've seen them before. Like, they come to her events. They come to see her sing and stuff like that. So you kind of build a relationship. I think for me, it's more or less like when I go into my sorority, I don't have a relationship with you people outside of, not like that. Outside of AKA, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is that's the only connection we have. And now it's like, all right, how do I?
But here's an opportunity for you to figure out how to build that then. If there's a gap, how do you build it? Like, how do you make sure that girls who are interested in nursing, they associate good nurses with AKA?
True.
And then you find other like-minded people that want to do that, And then that's where you share interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I know for a fact.
It's all about how we give back and how we do certain things.
And I'm like, I got a slew of ideas and things that I would want to do. And I know that when I do what I do, I know that I make a difference. And it's just like, now you need to kind of you got to lean on people. You got to lean on your resources. You got to lean on your friends. Even just y'all, coming to y'all to talk to y'all about things that I don't even know about. And it's like, oh, well, I have a friend for that. So go.
That's what it should be. The network of friends and people should be a conference. Every
Right.
time we get together,
Yep.
it's cool to talk about like
whatever,
Drake
just
and
shoot the
Kendrick
shit.
beef and all this stuff. But then when it comes to real stuff, it's like, oh, well, I'm doing this, blah, blah, I'm doing
Right.
blah.
Or it's like, oh, I remember you did this. So how did you do this? Because I'm trying to get into it, but I need help. Like, point me in the right direction. Not give me all the answers, but point me in the right direction and show me what I need to do. And then I can kind of pick up off of that type of thing. But I don't think people want to do that now. I think a lot of people are
post and just get it
they
done.
just want they want the instant gratification. They don't want to put in the work. It's just like going to the gym. You don't want to go to you want a nice body and all of these things, but you don't want to go to the gym. And the first time you start going to the gym, you think that the results are going to happen in a week, and now you're like, I'm giving up on it. And it's like,
What's crazy to me is like LinkedIn is the thing that unfortunately ruined all of those aspects, right? Mm-hmm. It ruined how to network because it's like, oh, I don't have to leave. I could just like post an article and like something and then it's good. It's like, That place is not real, bro.
Yeah.
It's not real. Nobody's reading those
And I think LinkedIn is also scam too, because I get so many recruiters and all of these things talking about, oh, we want you to come work in Louisiana and all of these things, and we'll give you this stipend. And it's just like, you got to be careful, because we got to sift through these things too, because it's like, oh, that looks interesting and I will absolutely do it. But then you get to the point where you're starting to do stuff and you realize it's a scam, and now they done scammed you out of money or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, this is crazy. I thought this was supposed to be a big networking opportunity for people that want to find jobs and employers that are looking for employees.
Once again, if you give an opportunity for a platform to start creating fake profiles and do whatever they want to do, you're gonna get fake bullcrap. Crazy. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm like, I know it's hard, guys. I trust me. I know it's very hard to try to find jobs. We are not saying that it's not. And I honestly don't understand why, on the other side of it, like, why the employers aren't hiring these people when you know for a fact that they're short staffed and they're overworking the people that are there.
That's the thing, man. It's like, I don't think, this is what I'll say. I don't think companies know how to assess the talent that they have to make sure the work is spread even. I think what they do is, like, they hire people, they hire directors, they got the VP, they got the director, they got the manager, and nobody's really assessing who's doing work.
Yep.
So then by the time it gets to, like, this little analyst or whatever, he doing a third of their jobs.
Yep.
Right?
On top of his.
And then, whatever. And sometimes he ain't supposed to be even like the reason why we create this role is to do this thing, and then y'all got him doing 14 different things from here.
Yep, that's true.
Creating dashboards and things that don't make no sense.
And it's like, no, he wasn't hired for that. No. Like, now he's doing, and on top of that, a lot of times the companies will give you all of this work and they don't pay you that.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, okay, I am going to give you managerial responsibility, but I'm not going to pay you managerial pay, and you're not going to be.
I'm not doing
your
that.
Position does not say manager. Yeah. Your position says what we hired you for, but now you're doing his, hers, they, them, and all of their jobs, and it's like.
And see, that's the lesson that I took when I got to DC. I was promised, like, hey, you're gonna be the manager of this team or blah blah. And when I first got there, it wasn't like that. This other woman and this other dude came in and they were the managers, and I had to sit there, ask the girl that hired me, was like, "Yo, what's going on?" She was like, "Well, they are senior." But I was like, "All right, cool. I ain't getting mad." Guess what? I ain't doing half the stuff you need.
Nope, because that's above my pay grade. I'm good for saying that.
I brought my PMP book. Start going to work. Yeah, we're not doing this, bro.
Yeah, I'm good for saying that's out of my scope of practice, because I'm not doing it.
I said this is above me now.
Yep, this is out of my scope of practice.
This is with God.
I am not. No, I'm just a nurse. Like, literally, that's what I'll be like. I'm just a nurse.
So like, I got this. I hate to close this out on this point, but you talked about the black medical professionals. I got a black doctor. She's a female. She ain't never like, and said like cough. She never hit me one of those.
Is she your primary care doctor?
Yeah.
Do you guys have different? Is your primary care doctor the doctor that tells you to cough?
I don't know how this works, but there's usually a doctor within the year that's like.
Yes, but I'm only asking because we have, as women, you have
primary and then the gyno.
Yes, so that's what I don't know how.
We just got the guy that comes in. It's like
that shit, and he's probably your primary care doctor. He just does all of it.
I think because she's female, she just never did it.
No, she probably doesn't need to do it just yet.
She won't do it.
Are y'all supposed to do it every year?
I thought every checkup.
No. It might not be every checkup, because sometimes what they're checking for, they might be checking your prostate to make sure you don't have like prostate cancer or something.
Whoa.
No, I'm saying all of that is encompassing.
No, it's not.
All of
balls and prostate are two different things.
I know that, but what I'm saying, I'm
just talking about.
No, I was saying that because there's an age range for you to get.
I got you.
So that's all I'm saying. So
but
maybe
back then, what you're missing is back then it used to be every 6 months.
So why you don't ask her?
How am I gonna ask this black woman to touch my balls?
No, it's you literally
hey,
say
man, can you go touch
no. It's literally asking her like, hey, what am I overdue for my routine checkup? Like, I noticed that I haven't.
It's annoying. Like, she's supposed to know that. I ain't supposed to be telling you come cut balls and tell me.
Yeah, but did you change providers?
Yeah.
Okay, so they might not know that you haven't had your checkup in whatever or the last time.
We've been in this relationship for 2 years,
and she ain't asked you in that 2 years.
Scared, bro.
I don't know. I don't.
Nerves.
I don't know how it goes for y'all.
A little nerves.
I don't know how it goes for y'all. And I mean, also sometimes if you don't report that there's an issue, then they won't. She ain't about to just go down there.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've never had this. It's always been that uncomfortable. They just put on the gloves. You know it's him for. It's a system. It's like here, ears, stethoscope.
I mean, I guess it's just different for us because
boom.
That's not all encompassing. When I go to my primary care doctor and I'm getting my yearly physical and checkup there, that's something different than when I go to my OBGYN and I'm getting like my lady parts checked out. Two different things.
Because y'all got a whole science experiment going down there. My thing is just like, I think mine is family practitioner worthy. Yeah.
So just ask. That's why you're supposed.
I'm not gonna ask her. She's supposed to know. Yeah, I'm about to just switch.
Okay, but you still gonna have to ask your other doctor just in case if they don't do it. When you gonna have to ask them too.
Said something's wrong with these black women doctors.
No, it's not. No, we're not gonna do that because there's not anything wrong with the black women doctors. You also have to. No, it has not. You are crazy. You gotta ask the questions.
She gotta touch my balls, man.
Okay,
she's scared as hell.
She's not scared to touch him. First of all, that would make you gonna make it awkward. You probably make it awkward in there.
No, I don't, man.